What's going on, guys? It's your boy Kev here, back with another Prizepicks video. Guys, as always, this is going to be short and sweet, but if you are new to Prizepicks, let me give you my little rundown. So, Prizepicks is essentially a fantasy sports betting platform where instead of picking players, you still pick the players, but you pick the overs and unders on either stat lines or the point projections of players. So, let's go over from single stat here and go over to fantasy score. You look over at Jalen Reagor, they think he might get 8 points. That's the line. You can say whether you think he goes over or under that, and you pair that 2, 3, 4, 5 times like a parlay. And you can do it through multiple sports and pair it with single stats as well. You guys know I love MMA. Let's see if anything else popped up on MMA. Last time I looked, I wasn't too hot on it. I like Ariane Carnelossi at 82.5, actually. I think she's going to win that fight. And Lupita Godinez a week later after her last fight against Luana Carolina. That's interesting as well. But yeah, we'll go over that later. But yeah, if you do sign up, please use code DGF. It helps us out immensely, and it helps you guys out too, because as you see, we have a promo here where if you use our code, you get a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. So you put $100 in, you get $100 back. Pretty cool. Let's piss through this, guys. Let's get right into it. So we'll start with single stat as we do. Guys, it's a great game. Thursday Night Football has been kind of shit lately with some of the matchups. This is not that. This is an awesome matchup. Going to be a really fun game to watch. I do have my concerns, though, with just how these teams play and who they are, and who their supporting cast is. And this is one of those times where from a DFS perspective it's great, from a Prizepicks perspective it might not be as great. So that's why I'm looking at a little bit more of the single stats and targeting quarterbacks. And I'll tell you, as a whole for Prizepicks, usually unless a team is very pass heavy to one guy, someone's very consistent like a Keenan Allen, at least you know what he's going to get week to week, or you got a team that pounds the ball very well and efficiently, and that person's getting at least 20 carries a game. I don't like to go too heavy on the wide receiver aspect or the running back aspect or even the tight end aspect, just because there's so much volatility there. And on Prizepicks, you want consistency, not volatility. This isn't a GPP. So that being said, we'll look at Tom Brady over 300 yards is where I'm going with this. It's a little sketchy. I'll be honest. The Eagles' pass D has been absolutely amazing, actually. They've allowed under 200 passing yards per game, which is, let that sink in for a sec, that's pretty damn good. This game should be a shootout, though. It has a 52.5 spread, so 52.5 point spread. I don't know if I think it's actually going to clear that, but I mean, to be honest, I personally do. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a shootout. It seems like Tom Brady comes out hot, does awesome every time off the gate. Jalen Hurts takes a little bit to warm up, but then he starts coming back, and his legs moving. He had, I think it was like 1 point at like the half yesterday, or last weekend, and my buddy was geeking out with who had him, and he was like, how many do you think he ends with? And me and my other friend just go 20. He ends with 20. Like, that's it. I don't care what he has now at the half. He ends at 20 and ended with like 22. It's crazy. That dude puts it on so heavy at the end. His legs do a lot of the work, so I love that. I don't know if I want to touch that 277.5 for him, but I think it is going to be a shootout. So I do like, both sides of this if you really want to hammer, both QBs. But I do like Brady more, just how he's been playing. He's averaging over 350 yards per game. And the thing is, he can't run. So, I say he can't run. Let's get into this next stat. So his next stat is 1.5 rushing yards for a single stat. I'm going to take the over this, and listen to this. So Tom Brady has at least one carry and has cleared 1.5 rushing yards in all 4 of his last games. This is an interesting stat, and I think this is low-key something that's kind of happening this year. Tom Brady, we know he's always developing. He's ageless. He just, he's timeless. He does just the craziest shit anyone's ever seen. But I think one of the craziest things that he's not getting enough credit for is actually getting his legs moving this year. Last year, in all 16 games, he had 6 rushing yards in all of last year. Okay, 6 rushing yards, counting all the ones he got -2 and all that stuff. Through 5 games this year, he has 36 rushing yards. That's not Jalen Hurts. That's not, that's not Josh Allen. But that being said, there's something to be said for that. Obviously, he's using his legs a little bit more. So I think 1.5 is actually very easy to clear. He just needs to carry the ball once, and he's going to do it. And if, history tells us anything over the past 4 games, he's going to get a carry. So I don't hate that. I think he's just, I don't think he's, lighting up the charts with his legs, but I think he's noticing more rushing opportunities where he can get free yards, especially, nowadays with it's a run-first league, it seems like, for quarterbacks. So we're definitely, seeing something out of Tom Brady that we haven't seen previously. So I don't hate that. Jalen Hurts, I don't really like anybody else here for the rushing line, just because Jalen Hurts is very accurate. 42.5. I think he's cleared in about 2 of the games or 3 of the games. He hasn't cleared in the other 2 or 3. It's pretty accurate. Tampa Bay's, tough to run on too, even from a quarterback perspective. And and then everyone else is just It's a nightmare. I'm a Miles Sanders owner. Thought he was going to have a better year. I think Gainwell is killing him right now. I think Ertz is killing him right now. He's a decent pass catching back, but I don't trust those rushing yards, even as low as it is. I mean, he's actually been really good. And if you could tell me he's going to get, at least 11, 12 carries, I'd probably say definitely going to clear this, but that's not even guaranteed at this point. So I don't know. I mean, that's still so low. I don't hate the over Miles Sanders, and Fournette is someone I believe in the talent of. I really just I hope they let him just rip it, but granted, you don't need to when you have that good of a passing attack. But in terms of like keeping Ronald Jones on the bench, I just don't think Ronald Jones is nearly as talented as Leonard Fournette, in my personal opinion. That being said, Ronald Jones is still getting work. We saw Leonard Fournette do awesome last week. I think he had 60-something rushing yards and a touchdown. But yeah, I just don't trust, everyone's in a little bit of a committee here. Ronald Jones siphoned stuff. Kenneth Gainwell siphoned stuff from Miles Sanders. Ertz siphoned from Sanders. So everyone here in this, 5-part or 5-piece puzzle here is too tough. It's too tough to predict that. So receiving yards, another one that's just tough. I mean, we're looking at the Bucs offense. It's fucking Voltron. It's a superhuman team. It's the Golden State Warriors. It's whatever you want to call it. Any analogy where it's a freak composition of these 3 wide receivers. I mean, to have 2 wide receivers projected at 60-something receiving yards is outlandish, okay? Just because, not that they can't do it, but to be projected, that's their line, is very crazy. They have all 3, with Mike Evans at 68.5, Godwin at 66.5, and Tony Brown at 62.5. And the irony is all 3 of them cleared that last week, which is just bananas. They are so good. It's one of the only teams where 3 wide receivers can eat. Usually it is 2. Usually it is 2 in a game. And one person, I don't want to say has a dud, but like maybe Mike Evans gets like, 1 3-yard touchdown and another catch and not much else. Maybe Chris Godwin, hits up the PPR side of things, doesn't end up in the end zone. AB's actually been seeming like he's being the biggest benefactor here, and he's back to true form. So I don't even know the pecking order right now. You guys know I'm a Mike Evans guy, probably my favorite player in the NFL right now. That said, AB is just, timeless. Chris Godwin is so slept on. I don't know. But long story short, I don't trust anything to happen with these receivers just because, again, there's too much talent. They don't need to rely on one guy. If one guy's getting bottled up a little bit, bang, go to option 2. If he's getting bottled up, bang, go to option 3. Or just whoever's open. They're all so friggin' good. Someone's going to be open. So you don't really have to, preference anyone there. That said, I'm not going to trust the Eagles either just because of how we've seen that attack. Devontae Smith is looking great. Absolutely awesome for his rookie year. Tampa Bay, you can shred. But for consistency purposes, I'd like to see a little more out of him. Jalen Reagor, same thing. One person I'll talk about when we go to fantasy score for receiving is Zach Ertz. He's projected 10 points. He had 6 targets last game. It's still not decided as of now, as of 1:23 p.m. on Thursday, Eastern time. It is not decided if Goddard is going to play or not, which is crazy to me that they can't figure this out. I know he's on the IR or whatever COVID list, but he is vaccinated. But still, I think he has to test whatever, fine, 24 hours before, but there's still no word yet. So let's stay, keep our eyes close to that. If he sits, I don't mind Ertz over 10 points just because of the lack of options on that team. If this line is anything close to this when Goddard, if Goddard plays, then hammer the under on Ertz because I don't think Ertz clears 10 points in Goddard's without Goddard's absence. So that's going to do it, guys. Like I said, it's kind of a weird one. That's why I like the single stat side of this more. My favorite ones on the slate, to be honest, are Tom Brady over 1.5 rushing yards. I think that's just looking consistently. It's super easy to clear. It's super easy to clear, and he's been doing it. This is a different year for him. Some other ones, I don't hate Jalen Hurts at 21 as a total. Tampa Bay might be harder to run on than some of the other teams he's, been absolutely dusting. But, he's got a good arm. He's been doing great through the air. He's been averaging well over this per game, so I don't hate that either. But thank you guys for tuning in. If you did enjoy it, please use code DGF. Like I said, it really helps us out if you sign up for Prizepicks. Keep your eyes open. We have some more videos coming out. We got the final look, I believe, tomorrow. We got MMA coming out tomorrow. Really good MMA slate coming up in the next couple weeks too. We got 3 bangers. I'm not going to say this week's a banger. I like to be transparent. I'm not just going to sell every slate. This slate coming up is okay, but the next 3 slates after are absolutely lights out, certified bangers. So thank you guys for tuning in. As always, let's cash.